I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. You just heard Strong Enough by Ray LaMontagne. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. In what had been a peaceful space day on P5M6, the sixth moon colony of Jupiter, was just the beginning of something far greater. The Atomic Research Facility was running tests on a group of especially interesting rocks. They were circular and had been found hidden in a deep subterranean cave, away from any sort of eroding factors, so the roundness of them came as a surprise. Preliminary test results came in a few minutes after starting. These rocks weren't just rocks. They were also eggs. The technician reading it said, "That can't be right," but it was. But there was no evidence of life on this moon. The researchers thought they were all alone on this rock. That's why they chose it. But this rock has eggs. It had living eggs. The technician watched as the research machine ran X-ray tests. Inside the eggs were... what were those? Meatballs? Yarn? Worms? No, not worms. More like an alien centipede. The creatures were folded up into themselves, pushing the egg to capacity. They wriggled with anticipation. The lab technician squirmed. What was the point of doing cool science if you were dead or worse, covered in centipede-type alien bugs? It was not worth it, he thought, as he pressed the Incinerate Tests button. Up next, Crack the Shutters by Snow Patrol, and after that, My Ex's Best Friend by Machine Gun Kelly and Black Bear. That was By the Way by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And a father stood in the doorway of his daughter's room. She was sitting on the floor, rubbing her head. "What's the matter, my darling?" the father asked. He was a good father. She looked up at him and with big eyes let out a tear. It took everything in him not to crumble right there. She whispered, "I'm sorry," and her head fell. Her father was confused. Sorry for what? She twitched, and the room grew hot. She was growing thin and hairy. Her body changed shape, forming something decrepit, something not human. Her father fell to his knees and took his daughter into his arms. What happened? Tears flowed from his face, and he stared at the deer in his hands. This used to be his daughter. No, this still is his daughter. But she's a deer. What will the HOA think about this one, he thought. Nothing. The HOA will think nothing of it. He scooped her up and brought her to the backyard. She had not stirred since becoming this frail little thing, and he wondered if she was even alive. Shaking his head at the thought, he knelt to the ground. They were at the edge of the property, next to the woods. The woods went on forever. With heavy heart and a gut feeling, he placed his daughter on the ground and took a few steps back. An ear twitched, then a leg, and she was up, as spry as when she was human. She made eye contact with him, turned, and disappeared into the forest. Up next, Survivin' by Bastille, and after that, Put Your Lights On by Santana with Everlast. That was Let Me Love You Like a Woman by Lana Del Rey. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And I went grocery shopping today. I needed just a few things, essentials, nothing out of the ordinary. Stop asking about it. While I was there, I noticed a young man working at the checkout. He was wiry, like a hanger bent into shape, and he slouched at an uncomfortable angle. It looked as if his back was trying to get away from him. I approached him with my armful of provisions and asked for a pack of gum. They keep them behind the counter so children cannot get their hands on such an addictive substance as sugar. He sputtered, unsure of where this conversation would lead him. I was sure. I wanted to leave. I left the house, so my plans have already started to worry. I had to return soon. I urged him along with the kind words at first, but he continued to do nothing. My kind words turned not so nice. He was nervous, motioning for me to do something. I couldn't understand what he was trying to say. I was enraged. I slammed my produce down. My not so nice words, now hot fire, spit forth. I really tore into that guy. I guess someone said something because a manager was on their way over. I reclaimed my composure and started to speak, but I was cut off. The manager explained to me that the checkout clerk I was speaking to was deaf. I was so embarrassed. If I had known he spoke another language, I would have used it. Up next, Howazar by OMC, and after that, Riptide by Vance Joy. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and I went I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and she spoke secrets in his ear, ancient words reclaiming their meaning. He gasped and forgot himself. He was her puppet, playing passenger behind his own eyes. He goes to the door and locks it. She removes a marble from inside her cheek, lifting it to the light to see the smoke inside. It whips about the ball violently, causing the entire thing to shake. It vibrated softly in her hand. He was placed back in his body, allowing once again to choose. Autonomy is oft taken for granted. He saw his chance. He lunged for the marble, but before he could even get close, she popped it back in her mouth and took a step to the left. His lunge redirected to the floor. He lay there in a pile, paralyzed, because that is what she wanted. She asked him why he would be so foolish as to attack her. He responded with a completely valid reason relating to autonomy and the unethical treatment of a sentient thing. She in turn told her side of the story, how she was abused, how the world had been unfair to her, how it seems no matter what she does, something goes wrong. He was confused and asked her how she thought slavery was somehow excused by her upsetting life. She did not have an answer, but she did make him jump out the window. Up next, Tambourine Man by Bob Dylan, and after that, Charming Mess by the Black Crowes. That was Are You Bored Yet by Wallows featuring Clyro. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. Do you want to merge? Do you want to take your corporeal form and fuse it with mine? Would you like to intertwine our incorporeal forms? I promise it is an invigorating experience. I've merged with many people. It takes a skilled hand, though. I like to sit across from each other, drink an entire glass of water, hold hands, and lean forward. If done right, our hands phase through each other as if pushing into a bag of rice. Then our arms, torsos, legs, and finally the head. When the head emerges, our brains will become one. We stay in that for as long as we want, or as long as we can stand. And then when we're tired of it, we separate. No big deal, really. Other than that, when you merge brains, you are also merging your minds, and minds do not separate as easily. You might lose a few memories. You might gain a few more. It really all depends on your brain chemistry and how we react to each other. If you're still not convinced, worry not. I have a few more caveats you might enjoy. Caveats? Whatever. If you want to go on a few dates first, I'm cool with that. I'm a gentleman. I'd like you to be as comfortable as possible. Anyone? Please? I'm tired of this single body. Up next, Come On, Get Higher by Matt Nathanson. And after that, Heading South by Zach Bryan. But before I let you go, it's past midnight, and you know what that means, my listeners. It's the end of my shift. Oh well. And there's horrible storms tomorrow, so I won't be here. But that's okay. I think you'll be okay. I hope you'll be okay. Today was a pretty good day. Tomorrow will be even better.